Opening a letter from the IRS can make your heart drop instantly. Whether you owe $10,000 or $100,000 in back taxes, the anxiety and panic are very real. When that official envelope arrives in the mail, most people react in one of two extreme ways. Either they freeze up, ignore the notices, and hope the problem magically goes away, or they panic and rush into the first settlement deal they see advertised on late night television. Unfortunately, both approaches lead to serious trouble. Ignoring the IRS usually results in aggressive collection actions like bank levies, wage garnishments, and federal tax liens. But rushing into a resolution blindly can be just as dangerous. Calling the IRS without a complete map of your financial situation and a clear strategy can actually cost you significantly more money or land you locked into a monthly payment agreement you simply cannot afford to maintain. Today, we are going to walk through what you must know before you ever pick up the phone to talk to the IRS. We will break down how IRS debt actually works, what options really exist beyond the TV myths, and how having a dedicated guide on the side like Tax Pro Easy gives you the clarity, strategy, and confidence you need to protect your financial future. Before you even think about proposing a settlement or entering a payment plan, you need a full 360-degree view of your total tax liability. Most taxpayers assume they just owe tax, but IRS debt is actually built like a three-layered cake, and each layer behaves differently. First, there is the base tax assessed, the actual amount of tax from your returns that wasn't paid. Second, there are severe penalties, primarily for failure to file and failure to pay, which can quickly add up to 25% or more of the original tax owed. Third, there is accrued interest, which compounds daily by law and continues to grow until the balance is paid in full. On top of these three layers, you must determine whether the IRS has filed a notice of federal tax lien or issued active levy notices against your bank accounts or paychecks. Why does breaking down these details matter so much? Because different components of your debt require completely different legal strategies. For example, if penalties make up a substantial portion of your overall balance, you might qualify for first-time penalty abatement or reasonable cause relief. This can eliminate those extra charges entirely without forcing you into a complex, invasive settlement process. But you will never know if that option is available until you pull and thoroughly analyze your official IRS transcripts. You have likely heard aggressive national commercials promising to settle your tax debt for pennies on the dollar. This almost always refers to a formal IRS program called an Offer in Compromise, or OIC. Here is what those late-night advertisements rarely explain. The IRS does not negotiate or barter like a market vendor. They do not accept settlements just because you ask or because you claim you are going through hard times. Instead, the IRS follows a strict mathematical formula called Reasonable Collection Potential, or RCP. To determine your RCP, the IRS calculates two main factors. First, the net equity in all your assets, including your home, vehicles, bank accounts, and retirement plans. Second, your future remaining income over a set time frame after deducting allowable necessary living expenses. If the combined total of your asset equity and future income is less than what you owe, you may qualify for an offer in compromise. However, if your reasonable collection potential equals or exceeds your total debt, your settlement offer will be rejected immediately. This is where many taxpayers get stuck or waste thousands of dollars applying for programs they do not qualify for. But an offer in compromise is not the only path to relief. Depending on your situation, you may qualify for an installment agreement tailored to your real monthly budget. A partial payment installment agreement where you pay a reduced monthly amount until the collection statute expires, or currently not collectible status, which legally halts all collection activities if making payments would prevent you from covering basic living necessities. Before the IRS will even look at a settlement proposal, a monthly payment plan, or a penalty relief request, you must satisfy two mandatory, non-negotiable rules. Rule number 1 is full tax compliance. You must have all required prior year tax returns fully prepared and officially filed with the IRS. In addition, if you are self-employed or run a business, your current year estimated tax payments or payroll tax withholdings must be completely up to date. The IRS will automatically reject any resolution attempt if you have unfiled tax years or ongoing compliance issues. Rule number 2 is accurate financial documentation. You must build a rock-solid, verified financial profile using IRS Form 433A or 433B. This requires gathering precise documentation of your gross monthly household income, liquid assets, real estate equity, and actual living expenses. Furthermore, your expenses must be carefully evaluated against the IRS national and local standards, which dictate the maximum amounts the IRS allows for housing, utilities, food, and transportation. Gathering all this paperwork, calculating asset equity, and deciphering complex IRS tax codes can feel completely overwhelming. Trying to navigate this process on your own often leads to simple filing mistakes or overlooked expenses, which can ruin an otherwise valid relief request. This is exactly why TaxPro EZ exists. We do not believe in traditional representation models where a firm takes over, keeps you in the dark, and charges massive upfront fees while you feel completely disconnected from your own financial situation. Nor do we leave you isolated to figure out complicated IRS rules by yourself. Instead, TaxPro EZ operates as your dedicated guide on the side. When you work with TaxPro EZ as your guide on the side, we walk step by step alongside you through 3 core stages. First, we uncover the real numbers. We request and review your official IRS transcripts directly on the government, allowing us to audit your account history, calculate exact penalty breakdowns, and check critical statutory collection expiration dates. Second, we evaluate every available strategy. We plug your financial data into the exact formulas used by IRS settlement officers. This allows us to test whether an offer in compromise, a partial payment plan, penalty abatement, or currently not collectible status produces the absolute best financial outcome for you. Third, we keep you in the driver's seat. We prepare the necessary forms, organize your financial documentation, and equip you with professional guidance every step of the way. You get expert direction and complete strategic clarity without paying exorbitant traditional representation fees. You do not have to face the IRS alone, and you certainly do not have to jump into a settlement or payment plan blind. You can take complete control of your tax situation today by understanding your debt and exploring your true options before taking action. Take the first step right now by visiting taxproez.com to start your initial tax assessment. Let our team serve as your guide on the side to analyze your IRS transcripts, evaluate your financial position, and build a tailored resolution strategy that protects your financial peace of mind. Click the link below or head over to taxproez.com today to get started. Contact TaxPro EZ at www.taxproez.com/IRS-notices for help with your IRS notices,